Welcome to another edition of Vikings Vintage. This week we talk about the Vikings' dominant history over the Lions. Dominant history. It's not even close. But we will get into it.
Score Vikings, let's win this game. Score Vikings, honor your name. Go get that first down, then get a touchdown. Rock 'em, sock 'em, fight, 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 fight. Go Vikings, run out the score. You'll hear us yell for more. V-I-K-I-N-G-S. Score Vikings, let's go.
Yes. So, all-time series 80 43 and 2. All-time series. It's not even close. It's not, it's not a rival. You're just a opponent of the Vikings. You're not a rival.
You're all they are is a divisional team that's in our division.
Yeah.
They're not a division rival. They're not even they 9 times out of 10 they're not even relevant.
Yeah. And so they've won 3 in a row. Big deal. They beat. They're talking about how good. You beat Mullins twice last year, and Mullins missed a wide open Justin Jefferson on the last play of the game. So I understand you're excited because your team is good, but let's be real. Let's start acting responsible.
Lions fans, pump them brakes. Pump them brakes, because y'all. First of all, y'all, after what you did in the championship game last year, and you were winning, you ain't got a damn thing to be bragging about.
Yeah.
You have nothing to be bragging about.
And doing what you guys did to the Cowboys is nothing special. The Saints did the exact same thing.
The Cowboys are a terrible team.
Yeah.
They're a terrible team. They need to settle down. And when they start playing some teams that matter, if you start beating those teams, then you can talk. I mean, they've been saying online, some of the Lions fans, the Vikings haven't faced anybody that's worth beating. I'm like, excuse me? Did we not beat the Niners? We handled the Niners here. We handled the Texans. We handled the Packers for 3 quarters.
Well, 3.5 quarters, yeah.
3.5 quarters, and we beat the teams we're supposed to beat. Which
and the Jets in London, where it's very hard to win, and the Jets have a good defense.
Right. So we are 5-0 for a reason, because we played our asses off and got those wins and dominated the teams we were supposed to. I mean, y'all lost the Lions lost to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
It's like, come on. It's like, come on. Just Lions fans, show some respect, show some class, and stop. Because you're going to make yourselves in the end look like some damn fools.
Yeah, pretty much. So the Lions have gone on runs where they've beaten the Vikings 3 or 4 times in a row. The first 2 years, the Vikings were a team. The Lions beat them the 4 times in a row. And there's been other couple times, like in the 90s, like when the Lions were good in the 90s, early 90s, the last time they were in an NFC Championship game, they swept the Lions, or they swept the Vikings. But other than that, it's been pretty much either the Vikings have swept the Lions a couple years in a row, or they split. But it's been pretty much.
Bud Grant owned the Lions.
Yeah,
Bud Grant owned. I think they had
was it 6 straight years, something like that? The Vikings beat the Lions.
13 straight wins.
So
I thought it was 13 straight wins between 67 and 74 when they finally beat us at Met Stadium. That was like 13 straight wins.
Yeah,
and the Lions were always kind of picked to be that team that was supposed to give the Vikings a run for their money. They were always picked to be the team to unseat the Vikings, and in reality, the only team that really did it was Green Bay in 72. But I mean, the Lions would play the Vikings, and they would do Lion things to lose the game. They really would. blocked kick, fumble in the end zone, a safety, a bad penalty. They would just find ways to lose the game. And the Purple People Eaters, my God, they would go off on Landry and Munson. They would sack them all at least every time they played them, an average of 7 times.
By the way, rest in peace, Landry.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just died. He just died
2 weeks ago.
Days ago. Yeah.
Yep. And Bill Munson was the other quarterback. And I mean, if you'd, the one player that hated the Lions more than anybody was Alan Page. If you pissed off Alan Page, you really pissed off somebody because he never got.
Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. I mean, Page never got pissed off.
Hey, Sarah, we've been reading all the stuff you've been sending us from them crazy delusional Lions fans. So I can't wait till Friday night.
Sarah, I don't know how you do it. I got to give you props. How you put up with them is beyond me.
I went on the radio show in Detroit called Wood something.
Yeah.
The Woodward Sports or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the hosts really weren't paying attention to what I was saying, but the people in the chat were. And the people in the chat are like, I was actually told by someone in the chat, a Lions fan, that the Vikings have not proved anything until they beat the Lions. And then once they beat the Lions, they can have a seat at the big boy table. I mean, I said, you mean the big boy table that you guys have sat at once since 1993 and you're just now sitting at? I'm sorry, but we don't need your permission to sit at the adult table.
No, bitch, we own you.
Where we've been sitting at the adult table and you've been sitting at the key table and you finally moved to the adult table and you're going to be arrogant enough to tell us that we have to beat you to get to the adult table. Yeah.
Everybody's been at the adult table except the Lions.
Exactly. Because I remember there used to be NFC North preseason discussions, right? Well, they would only invite content creators from 3 teams because the Lions were irrelevant. Now we're not saying the Lions are bad. You know, the good Lions are good, but for you to act like you guys have been the Packers for the last 30 years is just ridiculous. You know, the history also shows that you guys are not very good against us.
No, they find a way to lose. And here's another thing with the Lions too. As good as they've been like in the 2010s, they were undisciplined because of who their coach was and who they had as players. I mean, when you've got Ndamukong Suh stepping on players and stepping on Rodgers and kicking players, and it's undisciplined. It's like, how do you expect to win? And then the coach that you did have, the one that was making the difference, you fired him because you wanted the flavor of the month as your head coach, which was Matt Patricia, and you got rid of.
Hey, Tony, are you sitting up straight?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure.
Yes, I'm sitting up straight. My back hurts.
What Patricia said to that reporter?
Oh, God, yeah.
Speaking of talking to radio host, how thin-skinned and arrogant do you have to be to tell somebody, I'll fire you because I disagree, I don't like your questioning?
What did you expect from Jerry Jones?
It's just ridiculous.
It is, but what did you expect from him? He probably owns a station.
No, he doesn't own the station. But that station doesn't want to lose that Cowboys has. Okay,
and catch.
Well, with me, if I was a radio show, if I was that host, I'd be like, listen.
Why do you think PA still has a job with the Vikings? He never questions when that team has a question, he never questions them. Never questions them. Why do you think he's still? A lot of them do that to keep their cushy job. They're not going to push back.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of sad. Especially if the team is bad, ask questions. The Cowboys are terrible. Ask questions. The problem is Jerry doesn't want to be held to the fire when this is his problem. It's his problem. This is not McCarthy or anybody else. This is Jerry's problem because this is the team that Jerry put together, and this is the team that Jerry overpaid certain players for, mainly Dak Prescott. So, that they're all going to have the egos are going to be there. It's like, yeah, I'll cost you your job. Okay, you know, guess what? Fine, the guy would get another job, but it just sucks that he would have to go through that BS from that owner to lose his job just for doing his job. He loses his job.
So in the chat, what is your what's your either favorite Lion game that you remember, or who's your favorite Lion player that you enjoyed watching? I mean, other than like Barry Sanders, or like Calvin Johnson. I always liked watching Brian Blades.
I liked
It was brother Benny too, but Brian
I
was better.
liked Benny Blades. I like Chris Spielman.
Yeah,
I like Jerry Ball. I liked Bubba Baker, and that's true. He doesn't want to rock the boat.
yeah.
Very true there. Left. Doug English, and then even farther back,
Sarah.
yeah,
Yeah, keep in mind, Sarah, no one really dislikes the Lions. I still don't dislike the Lions as a team.
I don't.
It's their fans that are aggravating the hell out.
When it comes to teams, I don't dislike the team. Period. The fans are what turns me off. But the Cowboys are that exception to the rule. I don't like nothing about the Cowboys. I respect their former players, but I don't like nothing about that team.
Yeah, that's the only team. I still don't dislike the Lions because they'll have the usual run here of a couple good years.
Oh, they'll be back to,
and then they'll disappear again.
So they'll be back to getting the number one draft pick.
But their fans are horrible.
Oh, their fans are horrible. Insufferable. They're insufferable.
They remind me of 76ers fans.
It's like here's the deal, Lions.
What up, Mike?
Hey, Mike. Lions fans, talk to me when you do something.
Yeah.
You blew a lead in the championship game last year, so y'all need to just shut your damn mouths. You blew a comfortable lead in the championship game.
Yeah, it's crazy that they truly are. They're worse than Chiefs fans.
They're worse than Packer fans.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, when you're worse than Packer fans, they're probably more delusional than Cowboy fans. At least the Lion fans have some hope. The Cowboys have no hope.
Well, Cowboy fans are still delusional. I think they're finally starting to see reality.
Where? Which ones?
Well, at least the ones I've seen lately.
Oh.
Like during the Cowboy year, but they got like the X over the star. So.
Oh my God. Yeah, and
oh wow, Ving Rhames with hair. Wow.
Let's be honest. Dan Campbell, his shtick might get old here real fast.
Well, they're thinking about how they were talking about how it's hard to play 2 physical games in a row, like the Lions did. But people are acting like the Vikings are not physical.
First of all, the Lions didn't play a physical game against the Cowboys. That was an ass whooping. It was physical on one side of the ball, and that's it.
Yeah.
The Cowboys didn't try to freaking hit back. The Vikings got something to prove. If you listen to, you hear what the coaches say in some interviews, you hear what those players say, they quietly got something to prove.
Yeah.
I mean, to a man, it's one game at a time, but they're looking at this game right now. They're going to go out there and beat somebody's ass.
Yeah, not to pump a different show, but we're not as big as they are. I hope we are one day. But one bar in Lepicus they have Vikings on, time to time, and they had I think it was Najee they had on, and they asked him, said, okay, so and they said, how the fans, hate just like the other teams in the division. He's like, what about the players? He's like, and then they're like, well, what about the Packers? Nah, we don't. We understand the Packers are our rivals, so we're going to play them tough. But we really don't we really don't dislike them. He's like, It's the same thing with the Bears. We really don't dislike them. He's like, but this new Lions team, he's like, we can't stand them. We want to beat them worse than we want to beat the other teams
because they talk too damn.
Yeah, So don't think that they're just not going to walk in and not do anything.
Here's the thing, people. This is what a lot of people, and it's changed over the years. Back in the day, there was real animosity. When you were a Viking, and you played the other teams, you didn't like them. That was just that whole machismo thing.
Yeah.
As time went on and as like the players union started and all that stuff, the players started to be more like a brotherhood, but they still went out there and played. But nowadays you don't see it at all because everybody you think is buddy. But there are certain teams out there that teams dislike. And
it used to be the Raiders back in the day.
It used to be the Raiders, but currently with this Vikings team, and we've had rivalries with the Packers and the Bears. Never had one with the Lions.
Never been good enough.
Never been good enough. Now, with the Lions fans running their mouths and the Detroit players buying into the hype too, they're running their mouths, putting us down.
Yeah.
So guess what? Those players see that, and the Viking players are like, listen, bitch, we're 5-0.
Yeah.
How the fuck you gonna come in here in our crib and talk all that shit and think you're gonna get away with it?
And did you hear like the press conference that KOC had before he let the players go in the bye week about how the talk about the team? He's like, they may not be talking about you, but they will be talking about the players. They will be talking about you here pretty soon.
I prefer they don't.
So
I prefer, here's the
Yeah.
thing: when it comes to national media, fuck national media. I don't excuse my language. Fuck
No,
national.
I got
media.
it up. I got it up.
Oh, okay. Fuck national media. I don't care what ESPN says, Fox or any of this, especially Fox Sports. When you got idiots like Nick Wright on there, and then bad enough on ESPN, you got friggin' Stephen A. asshole on there, and you got the other dumbasses. I mean, if you don't give the Vikings any props, that's fine. The Vikings will quietly go about winning games, and if you don't accept it, I really don't care.
The history shows that even when the Lions are bad or when the Vikings are bad, very rarely does a team win by double digits or by a blowout. It's always the games are usually always close.
They usually come down to a field goal.
But I have a feeling that this Vikings team is pissed off right now.
I said my final score was going to be 31-17 Vikings. And some idiot online said
that was one of the best quotes ever by a coordinator.
Yeah, when Brian said that means I got something for your ass.
Yeah.
That means I got something for you. And let's keep in mind now, Jared Goff is not the most mobile quarterback out there.
Yeah.
He's not. So
and Dave, as me living in San Antonio, thank God we ain't got the Cowboys game.
Yeah, the Cowboys got a bye week, don't they?
Yeah.
Okay.
Them in Chicago.
But I mean, I said the Vikings would win 31-17. But I also, some idiot in one of them chat groups was like, the Lions are going to run up 40 points on the Vikings. I'm like, dude, that script could be flipped real easily because the Vikings can run up 40 on the Lions. I could see the Vikings pouring on points on the Lions just in case it does come down to a tiebreaker. You've got those points. And you beat them once. You're already up. You won 2 games in the division.
Well, they'll pretty much be up 3 games.
They'd be up 3 games. And it's like all I got to say to the Lions is be careful all the shit you're talking.
Because I think the Packers lose Sunday.
They're playing Houston?
Yep.
You know what? It's in Green Bay. It wouldn't surprise me if somehow the Packers pulled it out with the help of the refs. Wouldn't surprise me. Would not. I don't know. Stroud is just on another level. So,
right.
It could be a shootout, but I could see the Packers winning that. Who do the Bears got again?
They're off.
Bears are off. Okay. So
but they have I think they play the Texans, not the Texans. They play when they come back off their bye, they have a tough game. I think it might be against the 49ers or something like that. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But they got tough. Their game after the bye. See, the schedule's flipped because coming in to this week, the Lions and the Bears have played the 2 easiest schedules in the league. Now the Lions playing the Packers made them go up a little bit. So now the Bears have played the worst schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But it flips now. Now the Vikings go to like playing the 18th or 19th easiest schedule the rest of the way. And the Bears and the Lions are playing like the 5th and 6th hardest schedule.
Okay.
So we'll see Oh, they play the Commanders
Play
after
the
the bye? Well, they're
Commanders.
going to lose that
having a
game.
bye.
They're going to lose that game.
Depends on where they're playing.
I don't think no.
The Commanders have no defense.
Yeah, but they're off. They're off. Unlike I don't think. I think it's good enough to stop the Bears. Their defense is better than Jacksonville's.
Yeah, that game. Yeah, they did flex games next week.
I think. Yeah.
Philly got flexed to the noon game, and the Bears got flexed to the afternoon game.
So if the Vikings win this game, they have a good chance of going 10-0 before they lose a game.
You know what though? If we beat the Lions, we're on a short week to LA. That's a game.
I don't think it matters.
It's a short week. It's a travel day too. That could be a problem. And now I see the injury list that the Vikings have. My God.
Well, that's why I was not as confident as I was. I was very confident that the Vikings were going to win Sunday. Now that they have some of those injuries, if Aaron Jones plays, I'll be a little less inclined. Cashman does a lot.
I think he plays.
Cashman does a lot, so that's definitely going to be hard to
replace. But Cashman's going to be replaced by Hill, who's competent.
Right.
You know,
and Metellus may play some middle linebacker. If you really
want to worry about somebody, the one to worry about could be Ivan Pace.
Well, he's playing, but Metellus could also play a little bit of middle linebacker as well.
Right.
So
I mean, we're coming off a bye, so we're going to.
I love you too, Evil.
Oh Jesus! Oh Jesus! Yeah, we don't play the Lions again until the last game of the year.
Right. So, yeah, like I said, they do have a short week after they play the Lions. So I guess I can kind of see, because they're playing such a short week, I guess I can kind of see that.
Yeah.
But they have a good chance, like I said, because after they play, so let's say they beat the Lions at 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they beat the Rams at 7-0. Right? Then they have the Colts, the Titans, and Jaguars.
Well, you don't know which Colts team you're facing. You don't know if you're facing AR-15 or if you're facing
right
Flacco.
But if they beat the Vikings, I can see the concern for the Rams game only because it's a short week, and then maybe the Colts. But the Colts game is at home. It's the last home game before the 3-run stretch.
Well, it also sounds like they're going to start tearing down that Rams team. What's his name is on the trade block now. Stafford's name has been on the trade block. Cooper Kupp's
they're talking about the Vikings trading for Matt Stafford. Why? Vikings don't need Stafford.
No, the name I'm hearing is Cooper Kupp. They want to get rid of Cooper Kupp.
Yes, the Lions fans are running their mouths there.
Oh, they're going to run their mouths and I doubt if they shut up on Sunday if they lose, because guess what they'll say? You didn't face Hutchinson. Yeah, but
by the way,
you still had.
It doesn't matter if Hutchinson's in the game. Darrisaw owns Hutchinson.
They would have put Hutchinson over on O'Neal.
So, I mean,
yeah, they're the ones that are going to be making the excuses. So
yeah,
I mean, if it's just you listen to these idiots and you're just kind of like, my God, no wonder you guys don't know.
Well, that goes to the fact that they've played awful teams, Sarah.
Yeah.
After you play the Lions, they lose the next week. Well, that's because the teams they've played have been awful.
Yeah, it's just Lions are Lions, and if you want to go by history, that's why I ain't scared of Lions. Lions don't scare me, never have scared me, never will scare me. I don't care if they're the best team in football; they'll never scare me because they'll go back to the Lions at any time.
What up, D Woods?
Hey, D Woods.
Yeah.
And that's just the way.
Yeah. Now that he's fully recovered from his Achilles tendon, he's been playing well. It's just the history of the Lions showed that the Vikings fans should never be afraid. Look at last year. All right. They faced Nick Mullins twice. Did they dominate the Vikings in those two games? Did they destroy us? No.
No, it came down to the wire.
Came down to the wire. So
Yeah.
and the Lion, for some reason, the Lion fans think that their defense is good. They're 22nd in the NFL. I don't know how that's a good defense. They get a lot of turnovers. Well, the Vikings get a lot of turnovers.
Because you know why they think they're good? Because they whipped an inept Cowboys offense.
Yeah. I tell people what up, Eric. I tell people the same. I say, well, the Saints went in and did the exact same thing. Oh, well, this is different. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
47-9 and 44-19 is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
So, I don't understand why, they're a prisoner of the moment type of thing.
Well, no, this is the first time that they can actually brag.
Well, and they also beat a Seahawks team where has proven to be not very good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. D Woods, which Carter? AC or CC?
Yeah.
Watch him say Tyrone. But yeah, as a Viking fan, if you've been around as long as some of us have, the Lions, they're talking all this shit right now. Let them talk.
Because remember, Tony, they said the same thing back in '93. Oh, a new dynasty for the Lions. They finally have dynasty. They whimpered. They went away.
Yeah. They are who they are. It's like, of course, CC. Of course.
Did you see Chris Carter's list of all-time Vikings receivers? Top 5?
Yeah, he didn't put himself on there, did he?
Yeah, he put himself second.
Behind JJ. He had Randy
Moss third. He had Moss third.
Where did he have AC 5?
He didn't have AC on there.
I thought he had AC on there.
It was Jake Reed. I believe he had Jake Reed 5. I think he had Thielen 4th. He had Moss 3rd, him 2nd, and then JJ 1st.
I had Anthony Carter ahead of Thielen.
But here's the thing, though. Moss, people say, well, Moss didn't play his whole career with Minnesota. Moss is number 1, man.
Neither did Carter.
But he played a lot longer with Minnesota.
Yeah. I wouldn't put JJ on there till his career is over.
Yeah, I don't think he had Anthony Carter on there either. I forget who the 5th receiver was. I definitely know he had Jake Reed 5th. He had Moss 3rd, himself 2nd, and JJ 1st.
Only one he could possibly put on. He played with Anthony Carter, so he knows how good Anthony Carter was.
Right.
So it could have been Carter.
I don't remember seeing Anthony Carter's name on the list, but it could have been. I just forgot that. I just missed it. But
see, everybody ignores AC. Everybody forgets how good AC was.
Yeah. But because I think the Vikings are going to be able to pressure Goff.
The only thing I worry about with the Lions, and they're not that much of a worry, is their running game. But we're pretty decent against the run. Teams don't run on us anymore because.
Well, they say that we haven't quote unquote to face a running attack like what they have.
No, we haven't. Well, and the Jets are just bad.
They just keep saying over and over again, "You guys have not faced a team like this." Well, you guys haven't faced a team like
what?
This.
What the fuck? I mean, yeah, we faced the Niners. Remember what the Niners did to you on the championship game last year, Lions fans?
No, but they haven't faced a team like us. So they're soft ass schedule that they've played.
Yeah, we ain't faced a team like the Lions because we faced better teams than the Lions. Yeah, he didn't have Rashad on that list, did he? D Woods. There's a thing with Rashad. When Ahmad was a player, Ahmad did the sideline patterns, so he was quick to get out of bounds. the dirty work was done by Sammy White. Case in point, when he got decapitated in the Super Bowl, he was the one that ran the middle routes and went into the linebacker zone to catch the passes. Sammy White did the dirty work. Rashad did the sideline tiptoe out of bounds and maybe a fly pattern down the middle. So, you know, but yeah, that was a mod. But I mean, back to the Lions. I mean, they keep talking, and it's like sometimes y'all just need to shut up. they just talk too damn much.
Yeah.
And you know that the more they talk, and these players go online, they hear the talk, they hear it. You know, I mean, that Viking locker room right now, they're amped up, they're ready to go. If they had to play tomorrow, they'd be ready. But they got to wait till Sunday. They're amped up to a man, especially now you're playing in Minneapolis. You know, this ain't you ain't going to Dallas. You're coming to Minneapolis, and it's going to be loud. So, yeah, it's and this could be the game to bring down the Lions big time.
And how is their confidence going to be? You know, when they do lose on Sunday. You know, it's like, how are they gonna? You know.
He did have Anthony Carter on the list, Catch.
Well, I'm trying to find it now, and it's remarkable.
It's in the chat. Shaq had it and has it in the chat.
Okay, I finally found it. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I could have, you know, like I said, I didn't remember, but I would definitely move Randy Moss to 1. I would put Carter 2. I would put Carter 2 and 3. Then I would put JJ. And then
I wouldn't put JJ on there. He's still playing.
You could put Ahmad on there. You could put Jake Reed on there. But
if I had the choice of receivers to put on there, Chris would be 1.
You would put Chris Carter 1?
No, Randy Moss 1. Sammy White 2.
Stop.
Chris Carter 3. I'm not the biggest Chris Carter guy. Rashad 4th. AC 5.
Yeah.
I forgot all about John Gilliam and Gene Washington and those guys. Yeah. Bob only had the 1 year where he made the Pro Bowl, and then he was part of the Tarkinen trade. But you know, he was decent for that 1 year. So, and Shaq, when I think of Bobby Wade, I think of him more as a Bear. No, Steve Jordan's the greatest tight end we ever had. So,
yeah.
No, Sarah, Troy Williamson didn't make the list.
Sidney Rice only really had a couple of good years.
Yeah, and that was it. And then he should have had the surgery, and he didn't get the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Shaq, Bobby Wade was a Bear before he was a
Viking.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rice's last year here, he was hurt, and he put off having surgery, and that actually hurt the team because they needed a wide receiver. They needed somebody to go with Percy Harvin because Percy was getting the double teams and everything. But we forgot all about Percy Harvin.
Yeah, Rice had hip injuries.
Yeah, he had hip injuries.
Well, I mean, there's, like I said, the NFL Network. After I say this, I'm going to feed my dogs real quick and come back. Then you can talk. The NFL Network did all 32 teams. They ranked all 32 teams in history that are still around. They did the teams with the best wide receiver histories of all time. The Vikings were first on that list.
For wide receivers?
For wide receivers, the Vikings were first. I think San Fran was second.
So they took into account that we had some crappy quarterbacks then.
Yeah. They said quarterbacks matter on this list, which is why I think the Vikings were number one.
Well, I mean,
I
well,
gotta feed my
shit, and
dogs real quick.
go back to Van Brocklin. You had Flatley and Reichow, then you had Washington and Henderson. Then you had John Gilliam John Gilliam only had himself. But then we got Rashad and Sammy White, then Anthony Carter, Anthony Carter, Hassan Jones, Chris Carter, Anthony Carter, Chris Carter, Jake Reed, Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Nate Burleson. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But the quarterback play was unfortunately not the best. So, well, that's understandable. Yeah, Bob. Favre made Rice. Rice had a couple of decent years. He had a connection with Tavares Jackson. And then when Favre came here, he was an all-pro automatically, just by Favre getting him the ball. But then he got hurt, and then he got hurt, and then he went to Seattle, and I don't know if he played it down in Seattle, to be honest. After he had the hip surgery, he put it off. He thought it would heal on its own, and it didn't. And so he finally had to have surgery. Yeah, and yeah, for when you go from T-Jack to Farrat to Favre, yeah, we didn't have it. We had after Favre, we had for a minute there we had Joe Webb, then Ponder, Castle, Teddy,
Sean Hill.
Yeah, we have McNabb. I don't even count McNabb. For that little bit of time McNabb was
Mr. Wormburner himself.
I don't count him or Josh Freeman. I just don't. I don't count him. I know I should, but I don't.
Spurgeon Wynn.
Yeah, Spurgeon Wynn. Yeah. So I mean, we haven't done the best at the quarterback position, which is nice now because we kind of got some quarterbacks we can count on. I mean, and a lot of people are still waiting for the shoe to drop on Darnold, if it does. He's come back to earth a little bit, but the week off will probably help him. Hopefully his ribs are okay, and that could be a problem all year. So, well, I mean, JJ will get his 1,000 yards, hopefully. Barring injury, he should get 1,000 yards. The one person who could have a big game on Sunday, hopefully, Jordan Addison. I think Jordan's going to get the single coverage. You think, Catch?
The Lions play man-to-man. That's their defense.
Wait, they're going man on our receivers?
That's what they play. They play man-to-man defense. That is their defense.
If that's the case, JJ probably gets 200 yards.
Well, that's why JJ's owned them, because that's what they play. They play man defense.
He's good. Yeah,
the Lions fans say if they keep JJ to 100 yards, they'll be happy.
Oh, God.
But
yeah, I'm telling you, I mean,
yeah, Steve.
Yeah,
I didn't think they'd beat the Cardinals, but
and the Cardinals, they're kind of a Jekyll and Hyde team.
Yeah,
1 minute they're good, and the next minute they suck. It's like they're just there's no consistency. Put it that way.
So Steve, Friday Free For All, I'm going to try to get a Lions content creator on there. He's actually not delusional. He actually, talks with respect about the Vikings. About he's not one of these Lions fans who is very delusional. But we'll see if he comes on or not. I'm gonna try to get him on.
And I expect the Viking defense to get at least 5 sacks, maybe more. Penny Sewell, I don't know who's going to line up on Sewell. I think Renard is going to line up on Sewell. So I expect at least 5 sacks, maybe a couple of interceptions. Goff's going to turn the ball over. He is going to turn.
5 sacks on Goff is not unrealistic.
No, it's not. And depending on how the Vikings show their formations before the snap, that's going to throw off that offensive line. They are run blockers. Pass blocking, I mean, they really haven't played any. I mean, they played the Cowboys, and guess what? The Cowboys didn't have Parsons or Lawrence, right? So, I mean, if you don't have those guys, that's
I don't think their offensive line is good as everybody says it is.
No, it's not.
Penny Sewell's good, yes.
Penny Sewell's good.
Ragnow is good. Yes.
Ragnow is good when he's healthy.
But the rest of the offensive line is average to above average. Though they have two great players, but we have 2 great tackles. The interior of our offensive line is not as good as I would. Yeah, their offensive line probably is better than ours, but I wouldn't say it's a huge margin because I would say Penny Sewell and Darrisaw cancel each other out.
Only one in that offensive lineup that
Ragnow is better than anything we have a guard though.
Yeah. But I mean, and now here's the thing with the Vikings too. Are they going to make? Well, no, he's in the practice window. Is Reisner, so he's not eligible to play on Sunday, is he?
He says he's ready to go, but I don't know. But they like Ingram because they drafted him, so who knows?
He's the only one left from that draft class that's still with the team, I think. Him and maybe another, but yeah, they want to kind of save face with Ingram. And Ingram is a better run blocker than Reisner. I'll give him that.
Yeah, but Reisner's a better pass blocker.
Reisner's a better pass blocker. So, I mean...
Kevin Zeitler is not... I don't think he's as good as people...
Zeitler's not that good.
I don't think he's as good as people say he is. He gives up a lot of pressures.
Yeah, Zeitler's not that good.
I mean, I know our offensive line... Like I said, I think their offensive line's a little bit better than ours. But it's not by like a huge margin.
They're even. It's like the offensive lines are even. Wide receiver, I give the edge to the Vikings.
Quarterback, as of right now, I don't know.
Quarterback, I'd probably give the edge to.
If Aaron Jones does not play, they have the advantage at running back.
Yeah.
Tight ends,
they got the edge.
Tight ends, they have the edge. They don't. Defensive line, no.
No.
Linebackers, no.
No. Secondary, hell no.
Yeah.
D Woods. Who are the top 5 tight ends in Viking history? Steve Jordan, number 1.
Steve Jordan. Other than Steve Jordan, the Vikings really have not had a great tight end.
Steve Jordan, Stu Voigt. Okay, now here's where it gets Kyle Rudolph.
But only because of longevity.
Here's where the sticking point is. Jimmy Kleinsasser.
Was he a tight end or an H-back?
He was a fullback. We moved him to fullback, but he was drafted as a tight end, and then he kind of played both. So,
well,
I consider more of a fullback.
For locker room, definitely Shenko.
Well, yeah, Shenko for sure. If you know, but, yeah, Kleinsasser. But Kleinsasser did both, and he was more of a fullback.
Yeah.
So he played both. So I would put him in there with an asterisk because he played fullback also. Other than that, I mean, Joe Sensor went to the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but his career got short because of injury.
Bad knees.
TJ will be either the greatest or the second greatest tight end by the time he retires.
Actually, Clarence also lined up more in the backfield, especially in
Yeah.
I formation. They sent him out in motion a lot out there on the edge, depending on who was rushing. But when I think of Jimmy, I always thought of him as a more of a fullback. They put him he played tight end his rookie season, and what happened was they moved him because he I'll never forget it. He fumbled twice in the Bears game in '99 when he started.
Was
And
that when they got Glover?
Glover had just left. They had Carlester Crumpler, and I think Crumpler was hurt.
Okay.
Glover had left in free agency the year.
I think if Glover played longer with the Vikings, he'd be up there.
Well, he was already a Raider. He played longer with the Raiders. We got him because we were hurting a tight end that year. 192 receptions for a fullback, but he played both ways. He was listed as a tight end fullback. That's how he's got so many catches. A lot of his catches were out of the backfield.
See, they don't really have the position anymore, but his position was H-back.
Yeah.
Basically what an H-back is you take 65% of your snaps at fullback and the other 35 at tight end.
Perfect H-back in the Viking system right now, Johnny Mund.
Yeah.
Johnny Mund.
So he was more of an H-back than a fullback or a tight end. He wasn't either. Right. So he's really like, you can't put him as a tight end. You can't put him as a fullback because he did both.
Right.
So,
I mean, and Jordan's the greatest because he was here the longest. He had the most receptions.
Yeah, and then Stu Voigt
was more of a run blocker.
And if Sensor didn't get hurt, he probably would be.
Sensor would have been third.
Yeah, but Rudolph was good.
Rudolph is third.
Yeah, but like I said, TJ, if TJ stays healthy, doesn't get hurt again, he will be the second great. He will be number 2 by the time he leaves. If he spends the rest of his career with the Vikings,
right? Which he probably will.
Yeah,
he probably will.
So,
well, the one who really wasted Rudy was Kirk. Because Kirk wouldn't throw him the ball,
which is why
Rudy left.
Which is why Rudy didn't say he thanked everybody in the Vikings organization except for
He thanked everybody except for Cousins. So, yeah, tight end wise, it's Steve Jordan. And for those that don't know, Steve Jordan is a father of Saints defensive end Cam Jordan.
Yeah.
So,
which is why when they honored Steve Jordan for the Ring of Honor, Cameron Jordan was there.
Yep.
So it happened to be a bye week for the Saints, which is weird though, because you would think that by the way he talks about the Vikings, like when the Saints are playing the Vikings, he would think that he hates the Vikings.
Well, that's he's a Saint, and he'll end up being a Saint. What's the question, D Woods? He's a Saint, so he really doesn't have any ties to Minnesota except his dad played for us. And he's probably still mad about the Minneapolis Miracle.
Yeah.
Well, he ain't lying.
Yeah.
He's not lying. Yeah, Kirk is not the most fleet of foot.
Well, now that he's not a Viking anymore, like Everson Griffin, like he's he's ass and all that type of stuff.
Everson said that when he was on the team.
So I know, but I'm just saying.
Everson, and here's the thing. Only thing Everson did was say the quiet part out loud. That's all.
And typical Kirk Cousins fashion is 500 yards. How many touchdowns? And they win by 3.
Yep.
So I'm not saying it's him, but it's him. Maybe he's just like some players just have that thing about him. No matter what he does, this is what happens.
Yeah, well, Atlanta will probably win this weekend too because they're playing Seattle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question, D Woods.
What college did they draft their most dominant players from? How do you define dominant?
The players I know what I'm pretty sure the ones that came in here and just immediately like made an impact. Notre Dame is one.
Well, Marshall.
Recently, it's LSU.
Marshall.
Marshall, Carl Lee, and Randy Moss.
You get. So, are we talking about players they drafted, right?
Yeah, or players that they got. You don't even have to count players. You don't even count the ones they drafted, but most of the ones they drafted, like Notre Dame, Kyle Rudolph, Alan Page, Carl Eller was a U of M. Jim Marshall was Ohio State.
If you want to talk tackles, you can say Southern Cal.
Yeah, Yuri, Riley, Khalil.
Yep.
We also got from UCLA, we had Fred McNeil. We've had Kendricks Barr, the linebackers from UCLA. Who else do we give? We've got so many. Goddamn. Everson Griffin went to UCLA. He went to Southern Cal.
Yeah.
So we got him from Southern Cal. Jordan from Southern Cal. Fred McNeil went to UCLA. Steve Riley went to USC. Dennis Johnson, the linebacker, USC.
Joey Browner,
Joey Browner,
Southern Cal.
Yeah. Anthony Carter was Michigan.
Yep. JJ McCarthy's Michigan, but
JJ McCarthy's Michigan. Sammy White was Grambling. Ahmad Rashad was Oregon. McTingleoff, Nebraska. There's a few Gophers in there too. Carl Eller, Jeff Wright.
Where'd Jordan go?
Who?
Jordan
went to Brown. He's Ivy League. Yeah, Harrison Smith is Notre Dame.
Yeah. John Sullivan, Notre Dame.
John Sullivan is Notre Dame.
Matt Burke, Harvard.
Matt Burke is Harvard. Kenichi Adesi was USC. Yeah, we've had a couple of Sooners. AP. Hey, Trisha, baby.
Drew Samia.
Do we have to count him? Really? There was such hope for that guy. Do we really have to count him?
Teddy Bridgewater, Louisville.
Louisville. Florida State was Ponder.
Dalvin Cook.
Florida State. We had Amp Lee, Florida State.
Eric Alexander.
Moving on. And you could have had Warren Sapp.
Yep, from Miami.
Miami.
Percy Harvin, Florida.
Percy Harvin was Florida. Chuck Foreman was Miami. Keith Millard was Washington State.
Dante Culpepper, UCF.
Chris Dolman was Pittsburgh.
Yep.
Boston College. Pittsburgh.
Boston College. Chris Hovan.
Tony's
favorite player.
Yeah, he's my guy. Oh, John David Booty was from USC.
Yep, Southern Cal. John David Booty, Southern Cal.
We haven't had too many Oregon players. Where did Ontario Smith go? Was he Oregon? Or Oregon State?
I believe he was Oregon.
Okay, we had Keenan Howery from Oregon. Years ago, we had a defensive lineman for Oregon, Neil L. Shire.
Where did Leo Lewis go?
Missouri? I think he went to Missouri.
We got Quadria Smile from Syracuse.
He was Syracuse.
Stu
Voigt went to Wisconsin.
Klon Saucer, North Dakota.
Demetrius Underwood was Michigan State.
Yep.
Duck White was Oklahoma State. James White. Randy Holloway was Pittsburgh. Mark Mulaney was Colorado State. Doug Martin was Washington. Gary Larson was Concordia here in Minnesota, but then he went into the Marines. Doug Sutherland was Superior State, which has got a new name now. I think it's called UW Superior. Wally.
Was it Ontario Smith go to Wisconsin, or was that Michael Bennett?
Michael Bennett went to Wisconsin.
Okay.
Bennett went to Wisconsin. Mewelde Moore, where did he go?
Mewelde Moore, I think he was. God, I used to know this. Is he Pitt?
I thought it was like a Southern school. I thought it was like Tulane or something like that.
Mewelde Moore. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Michigan players we've had. Oh, geez. Oh, God.
Mewelde Moore, Louisville.
Tulane.
So, see.
Matter of fact, where did Nate Burleson go?
Well, he's from Louisiana. Nate Burleson went to Nevada.
Okay, he was Nevada.
Yeah, so it was Tulane.
Okay, he went to Tulane.
Yeah. Nate Burleson's Nevada.
Okay, Burleson's Nevada. Sammy White is Grambling State. Thielen is Minnesota State Mankato.
Georgia, Tarkenton.
Tarkenton went to Georgia. Joe Cap went to California, I believe. I don't remember where Gary Quazzo went. Tommy Kramer was Rice.
Yeah, no, we're Friday Shack like we always
We're on
are.
Friday Shack, so
Yeah. There's a lot because you got like Darasol's Virginia Tech, Pat O'Neill's Pittsburgh, Bradbury is NC State.
Okay.
Brandel, I think, is Western Michigan.
Ed Ingram is LSU?
Alabama.
Ingram?
I believe Ingram's Alabama. Ontario Smith went to Wisconsin State.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I think the most players they've had from one school is probably LSU. I could be wrong, but LSU we seem to have a lot of LSU guys on the roster at one time. UCLA too.
Right now, I don't know who.
Yeah, Ingram went to LSU. Yep.
I'm trying to think. Ingram's LSU. Justin Jefferson's LSU, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, so who would they have on the team right now?
From LSU, those two.
Right. So Addison went to Southern California.
USC, yeah.
Sam Darnold went to Southern Cal.
Tillery went to Notre Dame.
Right. Tillery went to Notre Dame.
Harrison Smith went to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Hunter was from LSU.
So that's two.
Where did Metellus go?
Metellus went to Michigan.
He's Michigan. Okay.
Cam Bynum went to Cal.
Okay. Van Ginkel went to Wisconsin.
Stephon Gilmore went to USC.
Okay.
The original USC.
Okay.
Shaquille Griffin, I think he went to Washington, right?
I think so.
And then Cashman, of course, U of M.
Cashman is a Gopher.
Pace, Cincinnati.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pat
where did Grugier Hill go?
I'll find out in a minute.
Yeah, Patrick Peterson went to LSU.
Blackman
is also Southern Cal.
Yep.
So it might be Southern Cal.
Southern Cal right now.
Hawkinson went to Iowa. Nick Muse went to USC.
Mm-hmm.
With Johnny Mutt, I don't know where he went.
Okay, Blake Brandel went to Oregon State.
Blake Brandon went to Oregon State. Okay.
Yeah. Bullard went to Florida.
Yeah.
Cam Bynum is California.
Yep.
Ty Chandler's North Carolina.
Yep. Aaron Jones is Utah State. I mean,
Yep.
UTEP. UTEP, sorry.
Yep. Miles Gaskin is Washington. Stephon Gilmore, South Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I said. USC.
Yep. South Carolina.
Is USC.
Whatever. Grenard went to Florida.
Yeah, Grenard went to Florida. So it seems to be like there isn't one dominant school. It seems to be a whole bunch of little mix.
No, they're all over
Where'd
the
Griffin
place.
go?
Who?
Griffin?
UCF.
UCF. Okay.
Yep.
That's right. He did go to UCF. That's right.
UCF. Gruger Hill is
right.
Eastern Illinois.
Wow. That's a.
Yep.
And then Harrison Phillips.
Aaron Jones is Texas UTEP.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so we got 2 Pittsburgh players: Patrick Jones,
Who's the
Brian
other?
O'Neill.
Patrick Jones Jr. and Ryan O'Neal both went. They were teammates at Pitt. That's right.
Right. Okay, purple and gold bars. I'm cheating because I'm looking at the roster, looking at their college.
Most of the ones I know off the top of my head, like Harrison Phillips, I don't know where he went. Caleb Evans went to Missouri.
Okay, can I confess something with you?
What?
I forgot Fabian Moreau was on this team.
He's Cincinnati, right?
No, he's UCLA.
UCLA. Okay.
I forgot he was.
Give me a
even
player.
on
See if I
team.
can get it right.
Nick Mullins.
Oh, Nick Mullins went to Southern Miss.
Okay. Johnny Mund.
I do not know where Johnny Mont went. Is it like it's like a Oregon State?
He went to Oregon.
Oregon. Okay.
Okay. Byron Murphy.
Byron Murphy. I should know this one. I want to Byron Murphy. Yeah, drawing a blank. Is it an SEC school?
No, it's Washington.
Washington. Okay. Sarah knew.
Yep. And then Josh Oliver.
Josh Oliver. See, now you're pulling up ones I don't. God, I want to say like Maryland or something.
San Jose State.
San Jose State. Wow.
Okay, this one's easy. Harrison Phillips.
I don't know where Harrison Phillips went. I said that.
Stanford.
Okay. Yeah.
Brandon Powell. I was shocked I found this out.
Cincinnati, right?
He's Florida.
He didn't do anything at Florida because South Carolina played Florida every year, and I do not remember him playing for Florida.
Yeah, he's Florida.
Wow.
He is Florida. Oh wait, Jay Ward went to LSU.
Yeah, Jay Ward went to LSU.
So we still got some LSU guys
Unfortunately.
here.
Unfortunately, he's still on the team.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah, I'm surprised he actually is still on the team. I'm gonna say right now, probably on the active roster, it's probably LSU. LSU and Notre Dame. And maybe Bama. But yeah, they're scattered everywhere. There really isn't any one particular.
Because we got Air Force, we have Navy. We have Air Force, we have Army.
Yeah.
For the
Yeah, Richter and Carter.
Yeah.
I forgot they had Carter on practice squad.
Yeah.
And then you got CJ Ham went to Augustana.
Right.
Which they do a lot of recruiting in Minnesota because I had guys I went to high school with that played at Augustana.
No.
So yeah, it's overall team history. Most of our players we have drafted from, of course, the University of Minnesota a lot.
I mean, when you look at the guys on the Ring of Honor, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of variety.
In the Ring of Honor, let's see. Bobby Bryan went to South Carolina State, I believe.
No, South Carolina.
South Carolina. Okay, USC. Bill Brown went to Illinois.
Okay, Randy Moss, Marshall,
Manuel Marshall, Tarkington, Georgia.
Page, Notre Dame,
Page, Notre Dame.
Browner, Southern Cal.
Southern Cal. Eller, Minnesota. Bud
Yep.
Grant, Minnesota.
Okay, so Minnesota probably then, right?
Jim Marshall, Ohio State.
Carter, Ohio State.
Yep.
The other Carter, Michigan.
Michigan. Mick Tingelhoff went to Nebraska.
Kraus, where'd he go?
He's quarterback at Iowa.
So okay, Iowa. Okay.
So matter of fact, he was a teammate. Okay, here's the thing about Paul Krause when he played at Iowa. His teammate was Wally Hilgenberg.
What up, Frozen? It's been a long time, buddy.
Hey, Frozen. Their head coach at Iowa was Jerry Burns. So, who else is in the ring? Jordan went to Brown. Jared Allen went. Where'd Jared Allen go?
Idaho State.
Okay. Dolman went to Pitt.
Yeah.
John Randall went to
Texas A&I Kingsville.
Yep. Texas A. It was Texas.
He's a Javelina.
What are they called?
The Javelinas.
Whatever.
It's a Spanish name for like a warthog.
Why didn't you just call it the War Dogs?
It's Texas, man.
Let's see what line. Oh,
they're not called that now. I can't remember what they're called now, but they're not called that now.
And Matt Blair went to Iowa State. Matt Blair's Iowa State. Carl Lee is Marshall. Carl Lee should be in the Ring of Honor too.
Studwell
went to Illinois.
So he was part of that great linebacker system that Illinois had for a while, huh?
Well, you know those linebackers they talk about? They all played middle guard. Nishke was a middle guard. Butkus was a middle guard. Studwell was a middle guard.
Yeah,
They were in a 4-point stance.
Blair Walsh.
Oh, God. Nice way to just screw up the mood there, Sarah.
Let's see.
Yeah, he went to Georgia. Wonder how he's doing back in Georgia. Isn't there another DN currently on the Vikings roster? Yeah, Patrick Jones.
Yeah.
Patrick Jones did.
Yeah.
Well, not really, Sarah. I mean, we had success with Tarkington. Now, if you take out Blair Walsh and Herschel Walker, it's pretty bad with Georgia players. But
where'd DJ Joser go? He went to Georgia, didn't
Penn State.
Penn State. Lewis Cine, Georgia.
Another
team that we do not have success with players being good is Clemson.
Daniel Carlson, where did he go? We drafted him. I should remember this.
Where did Andrews? Same school Andrews Carlson went to? Auburn.
Okay.
I knew I'd get it.
Yep.
Oh,
wait a minute. You know who else went to Pittsburgh? I believe Fred Cox.
Stop it.
Yeah, I think Fred Cox went to Pittsburgh too. So yeah, I mean we have. Let's see. I can't remember where Mitch Berger went to school.
Pittsburgh, I think.
Did he go to Pittsburgh too?
I think. Let me double check. Maybe it was Stanford or something. I don't know.
Yeah, George, we've done well with Notre Dame players and USC and UCLA players.
The best player that we probably had from Clemson was Ed McDaniel. But the rest of
Terry Allen was from Clemson.
Let's see. So he was a Canadian player.
Oh, George, Alan Page went to Notre Dame. Yep, Alan Page went to Notre Dame.
Mitch Berger was a Buffalo.
Oh, Buffalo?
Colorado.
Okay.
Who cares if Chris Cooley went?
Randall McDaniel went to Arizona State.
Yep.
He was, matter of fact, we drafted both their top linemen that year. We drafted both their guards, Randall McDaniel and Todd Kalis.
Chris Cooley went to UCLA though.
Oh,
Mr.
Cluey did? That explains a lot.
Mr. Warcraft. EJ Henderson went to Louisville or Maryland. No,
He went to
sorry,
Maryland. He went to Maryland.
The Henderson brothers went to Maryland.
Yep. Wasn't Chris Cluey like Mr. Guitar Hero?
No, he was Mr. Warcraft. His name on Twitter was actually Chris Warcraft.
Oh God. Okay.
Yeah.
Anthony Herrera. Boy, you're bringing up a past name there, Sarah. What the hell?
We're trying not to cheat here. Oh my gosh. Was it Anthony Herrera? Was Diggs? Well, yeah, Diggs went to Maryland.
Yeah, Diggs was Maryland. Yep.
Anthony Herrera. I want to say Anthony Herrera went to like Arizona or Arizona State.
Okay. Bob Swede. John Beasley went to California. He was a Cal product.
Sarah, if you know where Anthony Herrera went, let us know. But that was a big.
We had our punter in the 2010s was
what, after Cluey?
No, before Cluey.
After Mitch Berger, before Cluey.
Between Berger. Well, we had
Longwell as our kicker.
We had Longwell, Edinger. We had Morton Anderson was our kicker. We had Bennett as a punter at one time.
Daryl Bennett.
Yeah, we had Daryl Bennett, the rugby player, or Australian football player. Yes, he was an Aussie football player. Yep. Yes, George. Who was a holder for Longwell? Was that Cluey?
Yeah, Chris Cluey was the holder when he was here.
Okay. Oh my God, Bob. Mike Eischeid. God, I haven't heard that name in years. He was when I started watching the Vikings, he had already been in the league like 10 or 11 years. Well, we had Morton Anderson, Sarah. So
yeah, we had both of the Anderson kickers.
We had both of the Andersons. We had Gary and Morton. I forgot we had Morton. And then but yeah, I mean, don't forget Bob Lee was our punter too. Bob Lee went to Pacific, and I think that school is closed. I'm not sure. I think, or if it's open, it's got another name.
Anthony Herrera went to Tennessee.
He went to Tennessee, huh? He was a Vol. Okay.
I knew it was a big school. I just couldn't figure out which one it was.
Right. So he was a Vol. Where'd John Sullivan go? Notre Dame?
John Sullivan went to Notre Dame.
He was a Notre Dame. He was a Golden Domer.
David Dixon was Australian, but I think he went to a college anyway.
He went to a college in the U.S. I forget what school. Corey Stringer was Ohio State.
Hutchinson went to Michigan.
Hutchinson was Michigan. Burke was Yale or Harvard.
Yeah.
Khalil was USC.
Dustin Colquitt was. We had him before we had Wright. Dustin Colquitt went to Tennessee.
Right.
Sidney Rice went to USC, or South Carolina.
What's that guard I'm thinking about? We had. I forget his name, but he went to a really weird. He went to a different school name.
Well, what's his name? I know we had Ryan. What the hell is his last name? Rian guy.
Ryan Cook.
He went to New Mexico.
Ryan Cook, the lineman.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see. And
Purple and Gold Bars. We also had Mike Saxon as a punter at one time. We had Harry Newsome. Yeah. We had Greg Coleman. Who was after Saxon was Mitch Berger. Berger was with us for a while. Vasante Shenko. Where'd he go to? Where did Vasante Shenko go? Somebody needs attention.
Yeah. Winfield Senior went to Ohio State.
He went to Ohio State. Junior went to Minnesota. And there's a big story about him in Minnesota too. I'll explain that sometime. For those that don't know it, there was a lot of drama when he was here. When Antoine Jr. was here.
Shanko went to a big. I remember. I heard Shanko. I don't remember where he went, but it's not like it was a small university either.
I'll find out in a minute.
It wasn't like it was a. Hey, Bob thinks she craves attention every time I do a live. She's got to get on. That's right. Yeah.
Vasante went to. Morgan State.
Yeah, Darren Sharper serving life.
Yeah, he's serving damn near life. He got a lot of yards.
He was P. Diddy before P. Diddy.
Oh. And you know what's funny? He caught charges from all the cities he was in that he played football in.
Maybe back in a second.
But he didn't catch any charges here in Minneapolis. If he did, I didn't hear about it. But yeah, he's going to be serving life.
Fred Smoot, Mississippi State.
Okay. God, Mississippi State, the last player we got out of there, we drafted a wide receiver, Marty McDowell, never played it down. He played for us, but never played it down for us, but he was just not good. So safe to say the best players we've got are probably the big colleges, Notre Dame, UCLA, USC, LSU, Elfline. Elfline went to Ohio State, if I remember right. He's from Ohio State. Ray only got 20 to life. He he masterminded it, but he didn't pull the trigger. And that's how he got out. So yeah, he was a mastermind behind it, but because he didn't pull the trigger, they gave him 20 to life, and he's probably on paper for the rest of his life. But yeah, he's out. DEI, that's funny. But yeah, actually, the Vikings have had a lot of Ohio State players too. So it's hard to say which school they've had the best with. They've, for a team that has a school right in the same town of them, lately they haven't taken a lot of Gophers. They haven't drafted a lot of Gophers. They missed out on Tyler Johnson. Either they missed out or just passed on him. I think they passed on him. They passed on Tyler Johnson, the wide receiver. They passed on Antoine Winfield Jr. They passed on Tyler Newbin. So, yep, Sean Taylor's daughter is all grown up now. The people that did the home invasion, I think they're all doing life too. And there were 3 people. But yeah, they're all doing life. So, well, Purple and Gold Bars, Elfline played guard at Ohio State. And right away when he gets to Minnesota, the Vikings move him to center. So he got hurt in the championship game. I forget what it was, but it was pretty bad. And he came back right away. He was never the same after that. And then to make matters worse, the team moved him from back and forth from center to guard. He just never, and that's kind of on the coaching. I believe he went to Carolina. I don't know where he is now, there was a lot of mismanagement of the Vikings offensive line when he was here too. And that's because once Tony Sperano passed away, I wasn't the biggest Tony Sperano fan, but the players loved him. once Tony Sperano passed away, it kind of put that unit in limbo. Let's see.
Yeah, we were talking about all these players on the team. We forgot one of the most important ones so far this season. Van Ginkel.
He's Wisconsin.
But I'm saying we didn't bring him up, though. I'm just saying.
I mentioned him. I said he was from Wisconsin.
So,
Sarah, there's been quite a few football players that were killed. Famous ones, Sean Taylor. There was a defensive end for the Saints that got killed in a road rage incident. 3 sets of twins. Who? Please explain, D. Wood. I want to know this one. I did not know this. Who are they?
yeah, currently or all time?
Yeah.
Because they had the Abdullah twins at one time.
Yes. Aaron Jones has a twin?
So, are you talking about twins who play football or just twin? They have a twin. Yeah, Shaq Griffin.
Yeah, Shaq does have a twin. Yeah.
Yeah, he has one hand.
Yeah, his brother.
Yeah. That one I did know. That one I did know, but I was just.
I forgot.
Yeah, they were both drafted by Seattle.
Yep.
Oh,
have a twin. Okay, yeah, that's right. Griffin had a twin who played. He played in the league for about 3 years.
Yeah,
Shaq's
played out his rookie contract. They let him play out his rookie contract.
He played out his rookie contract.
Put up winging it.
Hey, he was a special teamer, but yeah.
So I'm just trying to think. How many players have played for both the Lions and the Vikings?
Okay,
I know Nate Burleson is the first one jumps off my head.
Nate Burleson, Charlie West, Walt Williams, Ken Sanders.
I know there's not many.
No.
Wait, did Culpepper play for Detroit?
Culpepper.
What you do, Tony?
I don't know, but the lights are flashing.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, let me go hide my stash. I'll be right back. No, fire department across the street, as a matter of fact. Adrian Peterson, he's one.
Oh, I forgot he played for the Lions.
Yeah, he played for, matter of fact, he scored against the Vikings.
Yeah.
It's okay. The ones I mentioned, I can't think of any other one. Oh, Wally Hilgenberg. Wally Hilgenberg started out with the Lions. They cut him, and the Vikings signed him. So, Wally Hilgenberg. Oh, jeez.
I think that's because there hasn't been very many.
No, there hasn't. Everson Griffin. Everson Griffin is one.
Riley Reef.
Okay, Riley Reef. TJ Hawkinson. Oh. See, that's the thing. For so many years, you kind of forget.
Well, the Lions players used to be so bad that the Vikings wouldn't want them anyway.
Yeah, you had to be pretty decent in order for the team to want one. Oh, Broderick Thomas, the linebacker. Yeah, David Blau.
Chris Claiborne.
That's another one.
David Blau. Wow. Wow. Good one, Sarah.
Yeah. Is she got like Google up or something? She's coming up with names out of the blue.
Yeah.
I was gonna no. Bill Brown was a bear. Bill Brown was a bear.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah. Yep. Most of your Vikings, back in the day, most of your former Vikings, if they got cut, a lot of them ended up in Chicago with Jim Finks, especially if Jim Finks hired them, drafted them with the Vikings. But yeah, you know what? They
Did
don't.
Sean Hill play for Lions?
Yes, he did. Sean
Mike
Hill,
McMahon, another quarterback.
Mike McMahon, Gus Farrat. I think Farrat was a Lion. Teddy was a Lion.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh, Benny Ricardo, the kicker. He was a Lion and a Viking. Mike Hughes.
I forgot about him.
Yeah. Oh, I can't because Mike Hughes we won that game in O'Connell's first year because he blew his coverage on KJ, I think. Sean Mannion.
I thought Shaq Manning was the Rams. I didn't know. Did he play? Did he actually play for the Lions?
I think he was a Lion. He played with a lot of teams.
So it seems to be mostly the quarterback position that seemed to be interchangeable.
That's the only one. But yeah, like defensive linemen, only one I can think of is Ken Sanders. Linebackers were Claiborne and Hilgenberg, and Walt Williams was a defensive back. Yeah, that's it. That's all I can think of right now.
Not too many.
No, not too
And
many.
most of them went from Minnesota to Detroit, not the other way around.
Yeah, usually if they came to Minnesota, they
Did
were.
Schenko play for the Lions?
Schenko was a Giant.
After he left Minnesota,
did he? I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm probably just misremembering.
Hold on, let me Google. Wait a minute, was Kyle Rudolph a Lion?
No, he was a Giant.
Giant, okay.
He went from Minnesota to New York, and that was it.
He was in Tampa Bay too.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in Tampa
I don't
Bay.
think he played though.
I think he caught a pass from Brady. He caught a TD pass from Brady. I remember that much.
I could be wrong on Schenko, but
yeah, 9 times out of 10, the Giants got the Vikings cast-offs, or not the Giants, but the Lions did. Got the Viking cast-offs. Usually not vice versa. The Lions, and this is how good the Lions have been. The Lions really haven't had anybody that we wanted. Oh, Bubba Baker. We had Bubba Baker for a year. He was with the Lions, but we got him from Cleveland.
I'm just trying to remember. There has not been very many at all.
No, it's other
than like backup quarterbacks and
yeah, but nobody that like stepped into the lineup and played.
Probably the best line that the Vikings got was Riley Reef and Hillenberg.
Hilgenberg was the best. Reef is probably Reef was hurt. He got hurt like his first year or off and on. He kind of held down that. Now, was he a left tackle or right? We had him at
left tackle. He played right for the Lions.
Okay. Yeah, because remember,
we didn't have a left tackle.
That year that Reef was drafted, the Vikings instead drafted Matt Khalil.
Yeah.
So, and then the Lions took Reef. He didn't play a lot. He played right. He was playing, like you said, right tackle. But I don't know what happened to Khalil. Khalil just,
He didn't care about football.
yeah.
His brother did, but he didn't.
Yeah, he was a different animal.
He is a different cat.
Yeah. Yeah, he was different. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings have obviously dominated the Lions since they've been around.
Mm-hmm. Some of our best defensive games have been against the Lions historically. That's why I said if the Vikings get five or more sacks, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Well, we got 9 sacks. Was it 2 years ago?
Yeah. And Hunter had 5 of them?
Yeah.
They had like 10 or 11 sacks as a team. And but that was, Matt Patricia's offense. But there's something about the line. It brings out, especially and they do like to talk. They've talked for years. I mean, like I said before, Alan Page, if you want to piss off, the only team that could piss off Alan Page were the Detroit Lions. Always pissed him off. Most of our fights were with the Lions.
And and as we said earlier, the players on the current Vikings roster don't like the Lions more than they're indifferent about the Packers and Bears, but they don't like the Lions. So,
and here's the thing about that too. So the Lions are probably going to try to come out there and they're going to try to intimidate, and that ain't going to work.
Yeah,
that ain't going to work.
You can't bully another bully.
No, you can't. Not in their home. You ain't going to come up here and bully the Vikings at US Bank Stadium.
Yeah.
So I'll have to have the police blotter on because I'm sure there'll be some fights after the game too. Lions fans losing their damn mind.
Yeah.
I guess Niner fans came up here and were just assholes too.
Niner fans that were sitting around me and the ones I was talking to after the game and before the game were not the only 49er fan that got ornery didn't get ornery until a drunk Viking fan started talking shit to that 49ers fan. And a Viking fans that were sitting around that guy told the Viking fan, dude, chill out. Those motherfuckers got 6 rings. Because he wasn't just talking about the game. He was talking about, the 49ers ain't shit. They're organizations. And we're like, dude, they got 6 rings.
Yeah, unless you really know your football history, sit your ass down.
Yeah.
We're
like, also Viking fans like, why are you talking shit, dude?
Yeah.
There's certain organizations you don't talk shit to. The 49ers are one of them.
D Woods, at this time of year, everybody's got injuries.
Yeah.
Ours look like they're piling up. All of a sudden, we got injuries.
You know what's weird?
We didn't play last week. We got a ton of injuries.
That's what I'm saying. They have more injuries after the bye than before the bye.
Yeah. What the hell were they doing on their bye week? I mean, they got an injury list like they played a game last week.
Yeah. So Cashman must have got hurt in practice.
No, he got hurt in London.
Well, he got hurt in London. Maybe the adrenaline kept him from not coming out.
It's a turf toe. Yeah, you can play
turf toes, man. They need to change the name of that because you say turf toe, it doesn't sound like it's a serious injury.
It hurts like hell.
It's like a hyperextension of the leg of the foot, right?
Yeah.
Of the toe.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Jones is going to play.
I think Aaron Jones will play too. Oh, Bob, you're so funny. You're so funny. He ain't gonna be happy. He's not gonna be happy till we do 75, is he?
No.
He just wants it to end on that.
We're having too good of a season to talk about 75. Sorry, Bob. If the Vikings were 1-5, we probably would have talked about them, during the bye week. But they're not. So but yeah. So when you talk about the injuries, so Cashman's probably not going to play. He's probably going to miss the Rams game too.
Yes,
so it must be a severe case of turf toe. I think Jones plays this week. And Hawkinson hasn't played all year, so I don't know if he plays this week.
Hawkinson
I don't think they have any other injuries other than that, though.
Hawkinson may not play until the Colts game. History says we're headed to the Super Bowl. Well, history's been wrong. We said this in 98 too.
2016, Vikings started 5-0. They had their bye week 6. They finished 8-8. That's not going to happen, obviously.
You got to remember though, 2016 though, that's when the offensive line just went to hell.
Yeah. Well, that's when we had Jake Long, right?
Yeah, that's when we had Jake Long, and then Jake Long got hurt, and then Khalil got hurt, and then they signed, who was it that
they had TJ Clemens starting.
Yeah, but they had signed that lineman from Cincinnati, and he got hurt against
Andre Smith,
and he got hurt right away. So I mean, anything's possible. I tell people, with this team, though, you got a different vibe.
This is definitely not. This is definitely not the same team from 2016.
No, this is not a Zimmer team. You can tell. It's not a Zimmer team. It's not a Denny team. It's not anybody's. It's KLC. It's his team. You get a different vibe. You just do.
You know who wanted this? You know what one of the biggest leaders on this team is? Metellus.
Yeah. Yeah, he's kind of the face of the team.
Yeah.
He's the one that he does what Brian Robinson used to do, where Brian Robinson was the one who was kind of the team spokesperson. That's now Metellus. So I mean,
the Vikings have not trailed since the first game against the Giants. The Giants went up 3-0. And they were up for 3 minutes and 26 seconds, and then the Vikings scored 7 points and have not trailed since.
Yep. And
not all the teams that went to the Super Bowl era started off 5-0.
No. Only when it started off 5-0 that went to a Super Bowl, of the Viking teams, the 76 team started out like 5-0-1. They had a tie, so they weren't, they were undefeated. The 69 team had a loss. Oh, the 73 team started out 5-0. By this time, the 74 team had lost 2 games. They lost 2 games in a row. One was to Detroit.
But like I said, even though the Vikings have dominated the Lions through history, the Lions have always played the Vikings tough. Tougher than the Packers, tougher than the Bears.
They always have, yeah.
They've always been that little prick in the side,
Well, they were always, the Lions, like I said, were always that team that was supposed to challenge the Vikings every year.
Yeah.
And they just, like I said, they would do Lion things to lose. But they were consistent at being inconsistent.
Yeah.
Most of the teams in the NFC, the old NFC Central North, were the same way. I mean, you could win the division at 9-7 or 8-8. And now that's not going to happen. Now, you might have 3 NFC North teams in the playoffs,
possibly 4. I don't think it's going to be 4. I think the Bears are going to fall off.
It'll probably be 3 for sure. I think the Bears fall off.
Yeah, I think the Bears fall off because they actually start playing tough teams as opposed to who they've played so far.
And when that Chicago weather happens, how does Caleb react to it?
The only reason they say there might be possibly 4 is because the rest of the divisions are so crappy.
Yeah, it is.
Like possibly only 1 team out of the West and possibly only 1 team out of the East. And there's 7 playoff teams.
You could have 2 out of the South. It could be Tampa Bay and Atlanta.
Could be.
Out of the East now, the East is even, so it could be anybody.
I think only 1 team gets in. I think it's Washington.
You think Washington?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
And then from the West, I think San Fran. I think that San Fran's the only team. So that's 2.
Yep.
Okay, so then Bucks, Falcons. So that's what 4,
4.
and then the 3 from the north. And depending on what happens in the south, Falcons and Bucks only. So like if the Falcons and Bucks, if the second place team in that division finishes with the same record as like the Bears, who are last in the NFC North, and
Yeah.
if the Bears beat that team, or if they have a better, it could be, 4 from the north, which has never happened.
Right.
So, but I don't think the Bears. I don't think it's worth the conversation because I think the Bears are going to fall off.
I see that happening too.
Yeah.
I see that happening too.
And with the Hutchinson injury, who knows how good the Lions are going to be if they don't replace him. So Super Bowl's in New Orleans, Bob.
New Orleans. Yeah, Atlanta's getting another Super Bowl in 2028.
I Vikings should be getting another one. The stadium is considered the top 5 stadium in the league.
They'll never get another one because
But they don't have to walk outside because of the Skyway.
They had a hard time with the Super Bowl here. The NFL has said they'll probably never have another Super Bowl here.
Well, at least give us a damn fucking draft then.
See, I don't understand why that whole Green Bay thing is going to be a disaster.
Yeah, it's gonna implode in their face so bad.
It's going to be a disaster. And I don't know where it is after that, but yeah, if you like our stadium so much, then why don't you have things here?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, big game Sunday. And like I said, whoever wins this game is winning the division. And that's why I'm still going with the Vikings. Yeah, I'm still going with the Vikings.
So we will break down the schedule on Friday night. We'll talk a little bit about the game. Obviously, I'm trying to get a Lions guy on, but if not, we'll do our normal free for all. We'll do our normal talk about the game for the first 20, 30 minutes, and then we'll open it up to you guys. You guys can come on, talk about it. All are welcome. Lions fans.
Hold on, Catch. Can I say something to Winging It? He didn't ruin Minnesota, all right? There is nothing wrong with this state. The state is fine. Whatever bullshit you're hearing is completely bullshit. There is nothing wrong with this state. He didn't ruin it. He made it actually better than when the other Republican ran it. So, call him Tampon Timmy all you want, but guess what? There's nothing wrong with the state. He's
called that for one reason, because he put tampons in high school boys' locker rooms. That's why he's called that.
No, he didn't.
So.
No, he didn't. He did not. Winging It, I live here. I mean, it's fine. I mean, it's if you don't like it, don't come to it. Bottom line. If you don't like it, stay away. But don't shit talk it if you don't live here.
It's hard for me to like anything left or right because I'm a libertarian, so it's hard. There's a lot of shit I disagree with.
I'm a libertarian too, but
yeah, there's a lot of shit I disagree with on both sides. There's a lot of shit a lot of shit I agree on with both sides.
But it's like there's nothing wrong with this state. And like I tell them, if you don't like the state, stay the fuck away from it.
The only thing I would complain about in that state is the taxes, because I've lived in Texas. I'm living in Texas, and our taxes compared to yours are way lower. But I enjoyed myself when I was at the scooters and shit. That's for getting around. I mean, we have those in San Antonio, but we don't have we don't have like in Minnesota when you're riding the scooters, they actually have a designated spot for the scooters.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that here, but we have scooters just like you guys do to get around.
Yeah.
But it's I mean, living in a big city, there's always going to be shit you don't like. There's always going to be shit you do like about living in a big city. That's just the way it is. You're not going to agree 100% whoever runs it. You're not going to disagree with 100% who runs it. Like our mayor for our city is a Democrat. Mm-hmm. I do not like 65-70% of the shit that he does, but the other 30% he does, he's fantastic. So, it's our city now. Our city council, those idiots need to go, but the mayor is good. But
I don't even know who I do know who our mayor is.
Yeah, Fry, right?
Yeah, it's Fry.
Yeah. So a city like that is more affected by a mayor than it is the governor, because the
Right.
governor's got to govern the whole state. But
Right.
I don't live in Minnesota. I don't keep up with it. I just know Tim. I just know from what I've seen for Tim Walz in this whole election thing. If I was in Minnesota, I wouldn't vote for him. But that's my opinion. Tony, you may like him. That's
I
your
didn't
opinion.
vote for.
But I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna hate you.
I didn't vote for Walls either. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
But I also didn't vote for the clown that they had running with Matt Burke.
Was that Paul Lenti or something like that?
No, Palenti was before
So it
Walls.
was Ventura, then it was Palenti, right?
Yes.
And it
The
was a good
reason
run,
we're
but-
not getting a Super Bowl wing is because it's cold up here. Nobody wants to be in the cold.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be in the cold in February.
All right, y'all.
Politics have nothing to do with it.
We lost my mama.
My mom,
My mom's like, politics, I'm out.
well, no, it just pisses me off when motherfuckers talk about I live in a city. I'm like right in the heart of the fucking city. And some of you motherfuckers talk shit about it would be too scared to walk your asses through this neighborhood, which I really don't give a fuck.
Well,
But
those parts of San Antonio, my ass ain't walking in.
there's parts of Twin Cities I ain't walking in.
I'll tell you right now, man.
You're gonna lie.
But I will say the difference between us and other cities, even though San Antonio is got Democrats running it, it's
Mhm.
not an overly like liberal because it's Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That like that gang that's taking over Colorado and shit. We've already arrested like 5 or 6 apartment complexes where they're at because unlike Colorado, our fucking law enforcement like ain't scared. Like so they go in there and
Wait, what gang are you talking about?
the one from Venezuela.
Which one?
NWAW or whatever.
Where'd you hear about these fuckers?
It's all over the news. Like Aurora, Colorado, they've taken over like 5 or 6 apartment complexes. They've taken over some apartment complexes here in San Antonio.
Well, that's because you're right by the border. How the fuck they get to Colorado?
Colorado is a sanctuary state, so they go there. But they've
Colorado's a sanctuary state?
Yeah.
Since when?
It's been like the last since Colorado was turned blue, since like 2012 when Obama was running for president. Colorado's been blue for the last since 2012. It's been blue, and
Yeah,
it's turned it into a deep blue state too, not like deeper blue than Minnesota, which is hard.
Minnesota's always been blue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're the only
Minnesota's
state that
always
didn't vote for. They're the only state that didn't vote for Reagan.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Minnesota's always been blue. I don't think this state's never been. We had a Republican thing, like a Republican sweep. God, I was in grade school when it happened.
Right. Well,
and ever since
you guys have had Republican governors from time to time.
Yeah.
So it goes. So, it goes back and forth.
I don't know. I'm trying to think who the governor was when we were going for the stadium. It wasn't Walls.
No, it was
It wasn't Paleni either. Maybe it was Paleni.
I think it was Paleni. Because I remember I would stay up till like 3:00 in the morning watching the whole session. Like
Palenti was gonna let the team walk.
Let me see. Let me look real quick. So the stadium was 2016, but it was...
No, it went through in 2012, 2013. Right. Because I know...
Dayton. Mark Dayton.
Dayton. Okay. And his family owned a big department store here. So, Dayton Hudson.
And I remember the blonde politician lady. She was one of the key...
that was I know
she was one of the main proponents of the stadium.
Yeah, that was her. She wanted a stadium.
Yeah,
she wanted a stadium. We were going to get
I guess it went Ventura, Palenti, and then Dayton, and then Walsh, right?
Ventura, Palenti, Dayton, Walls.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Walsh is probably I think Dayton was probably the worst of all of them.
I don't remember a damn thing Dayton
I
did.
know he got the stadium done, but that's probably his greatest achievement.
I don't remember I don't remember I remember Palenti. Palenti was an ass.
Yeah. Ventura ran the state pretty well.
I had no problem with Ventura.
Yeah.
Especially when he gave us back our money.
Yeah.
But the Vikings have been asking for a stadium even before.
Yeah, Bob, every state's a border state now.
Yeah.
That's mostly due to our governor.
The Vikings have been talking about a stadium ever since Ventura, even before Ventura. So, but
okay.
They could have a Super Bowl here. They'll just have to work out some dynamic parameters, but it's cold. You still got to go outside.
Yeah.
So what the hell's going on in your part of the neck of the woods there?
We have so my apartment sits here. The airport is about 4 blocks over here, and there's a railroad track that goes behind our apartment complex.
Right.
There's an exit off the interstate that ends right at the railroad track, and there's a road.
Uh-huh.
And the road's it's a pretty important road, and it's probably a good I would say 5, 6, 7 miles of just straight. It's just straight. So people stop at the light and they rev their engines, and everything echoes because there's I don't know if you ever seen the overpasses in Texas, but there's 8 roads all in that area. Plus you got the wall from the railroad track, so everything just echoes. So people on their crotch rockets, so their fast cars, they all sit there. Their trucks with the exhaust and all that type of stuff. So,
I'm not far from the interstate, so I hear the cars and
yeah.
Every now and then sounds like the Fast and Furious out here. And I'm like, this is residential. What the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
So
before Ventura, I don't know who was the governor before Ventura.
Before Ventura, it was Arnie Carlson.
The thing about Ventura, though, was that he was an independent.
He beat the 2 favorites, which was Skip Humphrey and Norm Coleman.
Yeah.
Arnie Carlson was the governor. Arnie Carlson's big thing, him and Skip Humphrey, he was the attorney general. They took on the tobacco company and won. They won all that money from the tobacco companies, and I don't know what they did with all that money. I have no idea what they did with all the money they got from the tobacco companies.
Yeah.
But because of they went after them for the advertising and all that shit, and the state won the case, and it was a lot of money. And I have no idea what they did with that money. So,
well, I don't know what the government does with the money that they get from us anyway.
Neither do they. It goes in their pockets.
It goes to the lobbyists.
It doesn't go to us. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, It doesn't go to us. So, we're just here.
Like I said, it wasn't bad when I was there. They said the people I stayed with, Sarah and Ben, a couple I stayed with, Sarah's like, where's this Viking Skull Fest at? I said, it's at the corner bar. She goes, oh, it's in the hood. Well, if that's the hood, that's like the safest and nicest hood I've ever been in.
That's not the hood. That's not the hood. That's kind of considered part of the U.
So,
yeah. But it's not. That's not the hood. I mean, the hood would have been shit. Where I am is the hood. You know, and I mean, shit changes over time. And that's just with everything, for better or for worse. That's just the way it
Yeah,
is.
the one thing I will say about San Antonio is that yes, there's 2 million people here, but it does not feel like a city of 2 million people.
Well, Texas is more
It
spread
feels
out.
like it feels like a small town. You know, yeah, there's assholes here, but a lot of people are nice. You know, and it's such a it, it's more of a Catholic city than anything else. Everything closes early. Nothing really stays. We only have a few things that stay open
You're not
24
a
hours.
blue state, are you? Where your liquor stores are closed on Sunday?
Blue Law State. Yep.
Oh, you guys are blue law?
Mm-hmm.
We just opened ours. We were blue.
Cannot buy alcohol before 12 o'clock on Sundays.
Okay, our liquor stores are open now from 12 to 6 on Sundays.
Yeah. Some places, there are some counties that are dry counties.
Yeah, that I have heard about that.
Yeah.
Because Wisconsin used to make a lot of money off of us.
There's actually a restaurant that sits on a county line.
Mm-hmm.
One of the one county is a dry county, and the other county's not. So people will go into that. People will go into that restaurant and they'll walk across the county line. There's a line on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They'll go to the other side, they drink, then go back to the other side.
Oh, to eat.
Yeah. So, but that's crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's we just now changed that rule because the state for years has been losing money to Wisconsin on Sundays, and so they finally changed that law.
Well, Texas is so big; it's not like you could drive to the next state. You know.
Yeah. But yeah, so
But even in like the most liberal city, Austin, it's you still can't.
No, it's a state law, isn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah, it's state law. You know, no, we changed that for the whole state, so the liquor stores now are open from 12 noon.
I remember, I think it was my wife. It was a mother. It was Valentine's Day or my wife or something like that. My wife's birthday. I got up early to make her breakfast and all stuff like that, and I was gonna make her mimosas and all that. So I was gonna buy champagne.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
couldn't buy the champagne. So
yeah,
but so like I said, the Vikings history, we've dominated the Lions. I think the Vikings are going to win again. Give our scores on Friday.
I already gave mine 31-17 Vikings.
Okay. So Friday, we have the Friday free for all. Anybody can join. Tony and I are going to talk about the Vikings game for about 15, 20 minutes. And then we'll open it up.
I'm going to do a lot of listening.
Yeah. But we're probably going to get Lions fans. So we're going to need that parental advisory up.
Yeah, because they'll probably say something that'll piss me off, and I'll probably go off on them.
Well, we would like to thank everybody for joining us. We got 33 people watching, much appreciated.
Thank you, everybody, for all the comments and whatever.
Yep.
Both positive and negative. We love it. I love it.
Hey, we disagree politically, but you know what? Tony ain't gonna hate you for you disagreeing with him politically.
No, if you disagree with me politically, I could care less. As part of being an adult, we're not going to agree on everything.
So, hey, but Friday, you guys want to talk politics? We never said there's no.
But politics. If you are a Cowboys fan or a Lions fan, I'm coming after your ass.
Yeah, but Friday.
Yeah.
If you guys want to talk politics, we've never really done it before, but hey, like I said, it's open. So
yeah, I mean, I don't like to talk politics. I
don't either, but if
I have my feelings and I keep it to myself, that's how I feel. If somebody asks me, I won't be like him and Han. That's how I feel, and I stand by it. But
yeah,
I mean, everybody's got their own opinion and shit.
Everybody has their own opinion, and everybody's life is different. I can't tell you who you should do this. I can't tell. No one has the right to tell you your life would be better if you vote for this person or that person because they don't live your life. So
Yeah.
you gotta choose.
But if you are a Cowboys fan, yeah, I'm gonna get in your
Yeah.
ass.
Well, living in San Antonio.
There's a fine line between being different and being an idiot.
Well, like I was telling Tony before we started, I'm actually seeing Cowboy fans put an X over the star on their Dallas Cowboy stuff. I think they're finally fed up with Jerry Jones.
Oh, it only took them 35, 40 years. They should have been fed up with him in the 2000s.
Yeah. So,
and as far as the Lion fans go, you know what? Hopefully we get some Lion fans on here that have common sense, that are respectful, but I'm sure we might get one or two on here Friday that'll be just ripping on our team. And, Lions fans, until you do something consistently for 30 years besides sucking a big dick, then you can talk. But, you get to sit at the grown-ups table and you acting a fool. We about to demote your ass back to the kiddie table. So, but we'll see what happens Friday. That's all I can say.
So same time or 9:40ish. So depending on when I think Zoe does his show before us, so whenever he ends his show,
right?
he made us late last week, so I'll talk to him, get the time more hammered down. But yeah, we'll see you guys Friday. We appreciate you everybody for watching.
Thanks again, everybody.